to our Saturday morning Bhagavad Gita class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so last time we were discussing Bhagavad Gita text 27 primarily, and we were discussing actually in what situations violence is justified. Okay, so whoever was attending last week also, you will remember we discussed few of the things when violence is justified. So number one, violence can be justified if it is to establish law and order in the society, peace in the society. For example, the cops uh, killing the terrorist, or judge giving some lifetime sentence to a criminal. So even though it is act of violence, but it is justified for establishing peace in the society. Another example we discussed was a doctor doing a surgery, right? Apparently the doctor may be using some knife, cutting up some portion of the body, opening up something to remove some sort of bad tissue, some tumor from the body. So externally it may seem to be a violence to somebody who doesn't know, but actually this is for the benefit of that person. But one cannot whimsically harm somebody else, giving the argument that, oh, this body is just a dress. We are not this body, we are the soul. So misutilizing that philosophy and then causing harm to somebody. So either harming somebody for lack of knowledge, or harming somebody for misuse of knowledge, misuse of philosophy. So next, Krishna described how even after hearing all this knowledge, people cannot understand the soul. And that is so amazing. So let's read that text. And that's also a very wonderful text. Chapter 2, text 29. Okay, let me share my screen so everybody can read that. Okay, so chapter 2, text 29. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidena, ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah, ascharyavat chainamanyam shrunoti, shrutva penam vedna cheva kaschit. So let's do line by line so you can follow along. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidena. So ascharyavat pashyati. Pashyati means to see. So some people see at the soul as amazing. That, oh, how amazing this soul is. Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyam. Vadati means speaks. And some speak of the soul as amazing. Ascharyavat chainam anya shrunoti. And some hear of this soul as amazing. When they hear about the soul, they are amazed. Oh, how wonderful this soul is. Shrutva penam vedna chaiva kaschit. And some people are here who, after hearing also, they cannot understand the soul. Right? People, when we talk about soul, people will have different sort of reaction. So some people consider the soul as amazing. The amazing word, Ashcharyavat. Ashcharyavat is used how many times here in this verse? 3 times. Ashcharyavat. Pashyati, Ashcharyavat vadati, Ascharyavat chainamanyam shrunoti. So some see soul as amazing, some hear soul as amazing, some speak soul as amazing. And then there are some who cannot even understand even after all that also. So amazing can be described at three different level actually. Soul is amazing. People who speak about the soul, they are amazing. People who hear about the soul, they are amazing. And the act of speaking about the soul or act of hearing about the soul is amazing. Because in this world, many people are not even interested to know about the soul, to talk about the soul. So people who are hearing about the soul, who are talking about the soul, they're amazing people, right? At least they have interest in these subject matters to understand who we are really, what is our role in this whole world. But other people, they are simply wasting their time just going about their so-called duties in this world, their so-called responsibilities, and they don't even care. So up to here, Krishna described about the soul. And after getting this whole understanding about the soul, Krishna has derived away Arjuna's first concern for not fighting. So let's review back. Okay, let's see how many of you remember. So in the beginning, Arjuna gave how many reasons for not fighting? If some of you recall those reasons, why Arjuna did not want to fight. Anybody will like to share, discuss? Okay, Obi?
Because he didn't want to fight his relatives.
Yes, he did not want to fight his relatives out of compassion that I have to kill. I have to kill my relatives, my friends, my cousins. So out of compassion. So that was the first reason he did not want to fight, because of compassion. So Krishna has drived away that reason by giving the knowledge of soul, that we are not the body, we are the soul. So you should perform your duty, because everybody who has taken birth is sure to die at some point of time. So what was the next reason Arjuna did not want to fight?
Okay, Ona.
Because Arjuna didn't want his soul to die. That's the reason.
Okay, Arjuna did not want the soul to die. Okay, so Krishna just gave the knowledge of soul. Earlier he was thinking they are all my relatives and friends. So that is still first reason only. He did not want his relatives to die.
Yes, and also he was worried that his soul would get cut or die.
Okay. Anybody else will like to share?
Can I say one reason?
Sure.
Because he didn't. If else, if everyone else just if he killed everyone or they died, then he could not enjoy his opulences with anyone.
Yes, good. So his another reason was, if even if we win this war, this battle, everybody else will die, so there will be still no enjoyment. So loss of enjoyment, right? So first reason was compassion. Second reason is loss of enjoyment, that we will not be able to enjoy. And the third reason, Varun?
Yeah, I just said.
Okay, so you just said that one. Anybody else will like to mention any other reasons? Okay, if not, then I will tell. So the third reason was the fear of sinful reaction. He was thinking, if I kill these people in the war, I have to suffer the sinful reaction for killing these many people. So that was his third reason. So now, after driving away the first concern of Arjuna, that do not worry, everybody has existed earlier and they will continue to exist. The soul never dies, and we are not the body. And whoever has taken birth is sure to die one day. So you perform your duty. Now he is going to drive away Arjuna's next reasons for loss of enjoyment and fear of sinful reaction. So from next text, from 31 through 38, that's where Krishna is speaking about those particular points. So Krishna tells Arjuna that one should perform one's duty and one should not be afraid in performing one's duty, even though it may seem to be bringing some unhappiness while performing that duty. So if somebody is a Kshatriya, right? Arjuna was a Kshatriya. So Arjuna has a particular duty to participate in war when needed to establish peace and law. So Krishna is saying one should perform one's duty. If somebody is a Kshatriya, then perform the duty of a Kshatriya. Somebody is a Brahmana, do the duty of a Brahmana. And then if somebody is a student or a Grihastha or a sannyasi, so in same way one should perform one's own duty. So there is Varna and Ashram, okay, as per the Vedic system, the division of society. Varna means the duty in different occupation. The occupation of a Kshatriya, which is to administration, occupation of a Brahmana, which is to perform yagyas, educate people, engage in the study. So that is the duty of a Brahmana. And then duty of a Vaishya. Vaishya means the business class person, to perform some business duties, to run some occupation, run some business like agriculture, farming, keeping the cows, selling the milk products. So all that comes under the business class, business category. And then Shudra means who are the laborer class, who work for others. So based on these four varnas, everybody has their different duties to perform. And same way there is ashram. Four ashrams are Brahmachari ashram, where one lives as a student, the early phase of one's life. From, let's say, 5-year old, when they start to go to school, till up to maybe 25 years of age, till they finish their education, up to college and all. So that is the Brahmachari phase, when one lives as a celibate and engages in cultivation of knowledge. And then if one desires, they can enter into a household life. They get married and they live with wife and family, parents and all. So that is a grihastha life. And then later on, as per the system, one should develop detachment, leave the family and go to forest, or taking basically retirement. That is a retired phase of life. And then sannyas means giving up one's responsibility, being relieved from all the responsibilities, completely engaging in service of Krishna. So that is Varna and Ashram. So those, all these things, Varna and Ashram, these duties are called based on Swadharma. So that is what Krishna is explaining now in these verses, that everybody has two type of duties. One type of duty is based on one's varna and ashram. That is called swadharma. Swa means your own dharma. Your dharma based on your occupation, based on your particular ashram. And then apart from swadharma, there is something called Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma means one's eternal duty. So Swadharma is at the level of body, right? In whichever circumstances, whichever family somebody has taken birth, whatever nature one has acquired. Somebody has taken birth with the nature of a Brahmana or a Kshatriya. So he performed his duty accordingly. That is Swadharma. But one's duty at the level of one's soul, eternal level. So eternal duty, that eternal duty is called Sanatan Dharma, which is to serve Krishna, to serve God, to develop our relationship with God. So everybody, all of us have two type of duties, Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. Now for me, being a teacher, right, the job is to teach people, to teach students, to give education, give knowledge. So that is the duty at the level of Swadharma. But then at the level of Sanatan Dharma, our duty is to serve Krishna, chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that is Sanatan Dharma, to engage in service of Krishna by chanting his holy name, by serving the Lord, by spreading knowledge about Krishna. Now for students, right, for all of you also have your duties as Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. Swadharma means your duty in the early phase of life is to live a brahmachari life, celibate life, and acquire knowledge, engage in cultivation of knowledge. Let's say which you are doing right now, right? Attending this class, learning from Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge. So that is the duty of a student, to acquire knowledge. And at the same time, the duty of the student is to serve one's parents, one's teachers, respect them. So that is also the duty of the student. So duty of the student is to study, respect and serve one's own parents, elders and gurus. And then also, you also still have your Sanatan Dharma also. Sanatan Dharma does not matter if one is a child or a grown-up person. It applies to everybody. So everybody should engage in one's own Sanatan Dharma also. And what is Sanatan Dharma? To serve Krishna. So even a small child can serve Krishna. Everybody can chant the holy name of Krishna. So there is no restriction, no age limit. Even a small child can do. Prahlad Maharaj was a small boy, 5-year-old, and he was chanting the names of Krishna, and he was teaching his other classmates also. See, when he was studying in the Gurukul, whenever the teachers will give break, now you have 10-minute break between next class. So he will engage in chanting. He will start chanting and he'll teach his other class fellows also. Oh, you all also chant with me. Let's all do kirtan. So this is how Prahlad Maharaj was doing from his early childhood. And Prahlad Maharaj says, one should engage in service of Krishna from Kumar Avastha, which starts from 5 years of age. So even a small child also have these two type of duties, Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that you have your duty based on your occupation, which is a Kshatriya. So as a Kshatriya, you should fight. And by doing your duty properly, by discharging your duty properly, even if you don't achieve full success, still you will get the reward of that. And what is the reward of you doing your duty? That even if you are killed in the war, you will attain to Swarga, because you died while doing your duty. So you will attain Swarga. And if you win, you will get the kingdom of this whole earth. So in both ways, you have a win-win situation. In both ways, you get happiness. Either you get Swarga by dying while performing your duty, or you get the kingdom of this earth. Because Arjuna was thinking, oh, I will kill my relatives, I have to suffer, and I will have nobody to enjoy with. So Arjuna was thinking in both ways, either I lose or win, it is a lose-lose situation for me. But Krishna is telling it's not a lose-lose situation. Actually, it is a win-win situation. So Krishna switched the whole thought process of Arjuna, the whole paradigm of Arjuna, that you in both situation you have a win-win situation. So while performing one's duty, one can attain Swarga, where one can enjoy the higher enjoyment, or one can have better opulences. So Krishna is saying better to engage in your own occupation, which is a Kshatriya, rather than trying to imitate somebody else. So why is Krishna telling this to Arjuna? Because Arjuna has proposed earlier, better I give up this war and go to forest as a beggar and live by begging alms from others. So Arjuna was telling, I will give up the occupation of a Kshatriya and accept the occupation of a Brahmana or a sannyasi, that I will go door to door and beg from them and live, rather than fighting this war, killing people, and then trying to gain back my kingdom. So Krishna is telling, be careful. Better you engage in your own occupation rather than trying to put your foot into somebody else's shoes. Right? We say that statement. Have you heard this statement? Putting your shoes in somebody else's foot. It's not better to do that. Better you keep your shoes in your own foot, or your own foot in your own shoes. And why is that? And how does it relate to children? So for children in an early phase of life, their responsibility is to study nicely, be obedient to their parents, be obedient to their teachers, respect them. And by doing that, they can get the ultimate happiness in this life. So that is the most important duty for a child. Sometime as the children grow up little bit, they go to high school. So I don't know if there are any children here in this class who are in that age group. But to give you some understanding, or you may have seen other people around you, when the kids grow up little bit, right, they go to the high school level, they want to start earning. They think, oh, we can do our study also, but we want to earn money now. And why they want to do that? Because they think, oh, if we start earning, we can become independent. We don't have to depend on parents. We don't have to ask our parents, oh, can you give me my pocket money? Can you give me this much money for my this field trip or that outing? So they want to start earning and still engage in studies. But that is not the part of the Vedic culture. See, in Vedic culture, a child fully focuses on his studies, and parents support the child until he finishes his education and then starts earning by engaging in some occupation. But now students, when they grow up till 13 14 years of age, 15 years of age, they say, oh, we want to do part-time job, we want to start earning money, because they see the temporary benefit. They are short-sighted and they get distracted from their studies by thinking about the short-term benefit. So one should not become short-sighted. One should be far-sighted. Look at the long-term benefit of focusing on your studies. Because I have seen many children who want to start earning, so they become distracted from their studies. They don't focus too much on their studies. In that way, they don't finish their studies of college education and all, or they get not very high ranking or something. In that way, their career becomes affected. So they want to earn little bit money now, and they sacrifice their long-term potential. So that's why the teachings of Bhagavad Gita applies to everybody. So Krishna is telling, better you engage in your own occupation rather than trying to engage in somebody else's occupation. Because it's better to perform one's occupation, even if with faults, even if there are some challenges, some problems, rather than trying to perform somebody else's occupation, even if you perform it with perfection. Right? Sometimes you think, oh, I can do that work better. So better is you perform your own duty, you stay focused on your duty. In that way, you can get the ultimate happiness in this life and in the next life. Okay, let's say if any student, any kids have any discussion points, any questions. Okay, nobody has any questions or any discussion points. So let me ask the question then. So what is the duty of a student? So what did you learn from today's discussion? What is the duty of a student? Yes, Swastika.
The duty of a student is to focus on his studies
And
not follow anyone else's responsibility.
okay, and okay,
They shouldn't really just go and just stop in like depending on their parents when they're at a young age.
yeah, being dependent on the parents for everything, for guidance, for monetary benefit, for everything. They should be dependent on their parents, take guidance from them. And what was the other key phrase? Anybody else will like to share? Om?
So
Don't
you
step
said
into
also.
anyone else's shoes.
Okay, Swastika, let Om share something now.
Oh, sorry. Don't worry. Sorry. Don't worry about making money right now. It will come soon and down the line. So pay attention on your studies
Right, so
first.
that is the prime responsibility of a student, to focus on studies. But along with that, I mentioned few other things. Let's see how many of you remember that part.
To
What?
listen and respect his teacher.
Yes, good. So that is another important point as a duty of a student, as a child, to respect and be obedient to your elders, your parents, your teachers, and serve them. So being respectful and having a service attitude towards them.
Is it like you should chant the Lord's holy name?
Yes, very good. So that is the another important part. So the first part, which was to focus on your studies, be respectful to your parents, teachers, that is based on one's swadharma. But everybody has their Sanatan Dharma. And along with, so as per Sanatan Dharma, everybody's duty is to serve God, serve Krishna. And we do that by chanting the names of Lord, by serving the Lord in various other ways. So everybody should chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So now, regarding serving one's parents, serving one's elders, there is a beautiful pastime from Ramayana also. When Lord Ram, he was a young boy, right? He was living in the ashram of his guru. So he was also staying in Gurukul. First, he went to the ashram of, who was Lord Ram's guru? Anybody knows? Varun?
Is it Agastya Muni?
No, not Agastya. Dugu? Okay, Swastika?
Vishwamitra.
Vishwamitra is correct partially, but Vishwamitra was later on. First, who was the guru? Anmol? Amol.
I know the answer. I was going to say Vishwamitra.
Okay, so Vishwamitra is also correct, but Vishwamitra was later on. We'll come to that also. So Lord Ram's first guru was Vasishtha, right? He went to the ashram of Guru Vasisht. So while Lord Ram was at the ashram of Guru Vasisht, he will serve his guru by massaging his legs. So during the day, they study, and then they also go to collect woods by the order of Guru, so that the woods, dry woods, can be used for cooking purpose in the kitchen. So they will serve the Guru in that way, and also they will go to beg alms for Guru. So they were the different ways of serving. But one of the important aspect which applies on everybody actually, even if you are not living in Gurukul, staying at home with parents and all, one important aspect is to serve parents. So Lord Ramchandra also, he used to massage the legs of his guru at evening when he will take rest. So he will massage his feet, his legs. And later on, when Lord Ram came back from Gurukul, at that time Vishwamitra ji came. Right? Vishwamitra ji came to the palace of Maharaj Dashrath. And he told Maharaj Dashrath, I want Ram. Give me your son Ram. I want to take him with me to forest, and he can help me protect my yajna from the demons who are attacking my yajna. So Dashrath was very hesitant earlier, but later on, when Vashisht also told him different things and pacified him, then Dashrath became, Dashrath agreed to send Ram and Lakshman along with Vishwamitra. So when Ram and Lakshman went to the forest with Vishwamitra, they helped Vishwamitra kill many Rakshasas, and Vishwamitra performed his yajna. So that time also, every evening, Ram and Lakshman, they will hear from different Puranas, the various stories from of the previous great kings. So Vishwamitra will tell them all these histories from the Puranas. And later on, when Vishwamitra will go to take rest, so Lord Ramachandra will massage his legs. And Vishwamitra is keep telling Ram that now you also go take rest. But Lord Ram continued massaging his legs until he fell asleep. So that was the system. And do now also, right? Actually, many children, they are very obedient to their parents. Whenever parents ask for any help or they want somebody to kind of serve them in terms of like sometime father, right? Parent, they're very tired when they come back from work, and they may tell the child, please massage my legs. So the children who are very obedient, respectful, they will follow. But problem is these days, the children are not taught these moral values. They are not taught about these principles. And by the influence of society, by the influence of various other negative things, TV and all that, children want to just enjoy. They want to play video games, they want to watch TV, and they don't want to listen to parents. They don't want to follow the instructions of the parents. Parents may be calling, oh, come help me in this thing or that thing, and children don't want to do that. So that is not the proper behavior as per the Shastras. So even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says everybody has to do one's duty. By doing one's duty, one can become successful and attain happiness. Attain happiness in this life also, and get the better destination for the future life also. Okay, anybody has any other question, comment before I move on? So everybody understand what is your duty as a student, as a child? One cannot say, oh, I'm just a small child, I don't have any responsibility. Actually, everybody has responsibility. The responsibility starts as soon as you turn the age of 5. Everybody is responsible for their actions, their activities. As we discussed last time or one before, even a small child, 5, 7 years of age, if they do any wrong activity, they have to face the consequences. Right? We narrated the story of Mandvaka Rishi because he tortured a bug, an insect, so he had to face the consequences. So everybody has a responsibility. Everybody has to act in a responsible way. It doesn't matter if you are a small child or a grown-up person. So Arjuna had a duty to fight as a Kshatriya. As a child, you have a duty to study, respect your parents. As a teacher, somebody has their duty. As a Brahmana, somebody has their duty. And as the Grihastha, one has their duty. So your parents also have a duty, right? They have a duty towards you to give you the proper resources as much as they can give as per their ability. So everybody has to do their duty as per their ability, as per their resources. One cannot say, oh, somebody else's parents are doing this much, they are providing this to them, their children, they are buying this game for their children, or these many clothes and these many shoes and all that, and you don't do something for me. Sometimes children do this kind of type of things, right? They compare, they tell their parents, see, you are not doing something for me, you are not celebrating my birthday party. My other friend celebrated his birthday party so opulently in a hotel. They invited 50 kids and they spent so much money. So everybody just does based on their ability. We don't have to step into somebody else's shoes. If your parents cannot afford, there is no point of doing that. Even if they can afford, there are some things which are not really needed, because that is not the right way of acting in this world at the level of body, just from the bodily conscious point of view. So one should be very careful and act as per the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, as per the teaching of the Shastras. So Arjuna, or Krishna, is driving away Arjuna's concern that better you fight, you perform your duty, in that way you will attain Swarga. Because for Kshatriya, fighting is most important. See, sometimes Kshatriya uses this phrase, sar kata sakte hain par sar jhuka sakte nahi. Right? We can get our head smeared off, but we cannot bow down our head in front of the enemy. So we will not bow down our head in front of enemy. Better we will prefer to be killed in the war. So that was the Kshatriya spirit. Because by doing that, they attain higher destination. And earlier there were the queens also, the Kshatriya queens, the wives of these kings. They were also had a high spirit. They will also tell their husband, when the husband goes on the war, when the king goes in the war, the wife of that king will do the arati for the king, kind of sending him off to the war in a high spirit, that may you perform your duty with the highest spirit, and don't come back home by showing your back to the enemy. So what it means is, we will prefer if you die in the battle rather than running away from your duty, showing the back to your enemy. So there were actually in the history many queens, sometime when the king goes on the war, and if they come back, and if the queen sees the king has some injuries, some wounds on the back, on their back, they will not even open the door. They will not allow them to come back. Why? Because they see that this person has tried to run away from the battle, and while doing that, maybe he was shot with the arrows or something on the back. That's how he got the back injuries in his back. So they will understand that their husband had tried to run away from their duty of fighting in the war, doing the duty of a kshatriya. That's why Krishna is also stressing to Arjuna, better you perform your duty of fighting in the war. Don't show your back, because if you show your back, it will bring infamy to you. You are thinking of sinful reaction by killing your relatives? No, by doing that, you will not have sinful reaction. But if you run away from your duty, then you will get sinful reaction. Then you will get infamy in this world. People will talk ill about you. They will call you with bad names. So you perform your duty. So as a child also, one's duty is to study. If the child drops out from the college, does it bring fame or infamy to them and to their parents? Right? It brings infamy. People make fun of them. Oh, he dropped out from college. He could not finish his study. He was not focused about his study. He was showing irresponsibility. And it brings infamy to their parents also. So at every level, everybody has their duty, and one should perform their duty to the best of their ability. As we say, do your best and leave the rest to God. Right? So that is the full phrase. Sometimes people use only half phrase. Oh, do your best. Yes, do your best, but without worrying about the result. Leave the rest to God. You do your full to the best extent possible, and whatever result come, then you accept that result. Okay, so for today, I guess I will stop here. We will continue our discussion next time. Let's see if anybody has any questions or comments or any discussion points. Yes.
That was a nice class.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna. So hopefully the children can apply some of these teachings, some of these principles.
Yeah. That means because like I wasn't really obedient, so this taught me a lot.
Okay, nice. So at least you are being honest,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yes, anybody else has a question or comment?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Smriddhi. Okay, so if no questions or comments, then we'll stop our class for today here. And please do your duty, chant the name of Krishna, and we'll see you next week.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving
Thank
such a wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.